Right. At approximately 12:12 this morning, we got a call of multiple shooting in this behind this little farmhouse here on Jesus Flores Road, and we're just south of 20 North. When we arrived, we found that it actually was a cockfight operation. We have at least one of the 8 in the hospital that is critically injured with multiple gunshot wounds to his entire body. The other 7 we don't believe are in danger of passing away. We don't believe they're fatal wounds. Mostly leg, arm, thigh, those type of wounds. We do not have anybody in custody. As much as we can tell from the crime scene evidence and from some of the eyewitnesses who's given us just very brief statements, a cockfight operation was in progress when they were approached by multiple gunmen. And when we say multiple, it's more than one. We don't know exactly how many there were. We've gotten varied numbers from the witnesses, so we don't know exactly how many. We know at least 2, could have been up to 4, we're not sure, with different caliber of weapons, of firearms, and they shot indiscriminately into the group. And I can tell you, 40 years that I've been doing this, and multiple homicide crime scenes, and then the people at the crime scene now will agree with me that this has to be the crime scene from hell. It is really it was a chaotic situation because a lot of the spectators trampled all over the casings, the spent casings, trampled the victims, and just wanted to get out of there. And the whole crime scene was in complete disarray. Everything has been contaminated, so now we just have to cull through all that stuff and figure out if we have any evidence that we can actually use. We do have multiple different caliber casings, and that's going to help us quite a bit. And also, of course, the statements from the injured victims, that they're going to be able to tell us anything. What we're looking right now is, instead of looking at 3 murders, we're looking at 1 capital murder charge. And the multiple victims is probably 1 attempted capital murder charge.
There was some talk about a burned up vehicle that maybe 2 other bodies were found nearby.
No, what that was, as our deputies were responding to the call, and we were right around the corner, as a matter of fact, and we responded pretty quickly. We were here within a minute and a half to 2 minutes of the call. They pulled over 2 vehicles that were driving away from this area, and what it turned out, one of the vehicles had one of our victims. He had been shot in the legs. Some way, somehow, as the deputies were interviewing the victim and trying to get an ambulance for him, their car erupted in flames. It was just something about the vehicle. It was not caused by us. It was not caused by them. It just happened. The other vehicle had another victim in it, and from his statement, he called a relative to come and pick him up because he had been shot. He had been hiding in the woods. We brought out our tactical teams, and we did a nighttime search of, as best as we could, of this entire area. Probably, I would say, about a half-mile radius. Actually, not looking for the gunmen because we know they were long gone, but we were looking for more victims that could have fled into the brush after they'd been shot. And as a matter of fact, one of them saw the police lights and came out, and we got an ambulance for him. There may be more victims out in the brush. We don't know, and we're looking for them. Now, as far as suspects are concerned, I don't have any descriptions on them. All I can tell you is it was multiple suspects with different type of caliber weapons, and as soon as the shooting was done, they fled. We have no idea what type of vehicle they were in. We don't know if they report that we are getting from some of the victims is that the gunmen did wear masks.
The other question I have is, the victims, were they afraid at all or apprehensive because, cockfighting is illegal? Were they afraid to give testimony or talk to you guys?
I don't know if it makes much of a difference. They're in the hospital and they're shot, so they can't deny being here. So they're going to have to, tell us something.
But you didn't find that was a difficult situation, or they were more hesitant?
Cameron, I don't know if I can answer that. I mean, that's almost an impossible question to answer when you've been shot multiple times and you're laying there and not knowing if you're going to make it or not. If you're scared to say I was at a cockfight, which is only a misdemeanor charge for being a spectator. So I don't know if that's even a legitimate question. I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
Is cockfighting a problem in the county?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter, yeah, absolutely. Cockfighting is a big problem for South Texas. Not only Hidalgo County, but all of South Texas. And this is a type of operation that attracts drug dealing. It attracts robberies, aggravated assault, and obviously shootings. And it is a big problem for us. And it is difficult to enforce because you have to get somebody on the inside that is willing to give us the information. I mean, if we knew there was a cockfight here, it'd be very hard for the police to enter private property unless you had the sufficiency of probable cause that would get you a search warrant. Unless you got somebody on the inside that can say there is a felony in progress, I'm inside, come in, then we can do that. I mean, and that's the way we do it.
As far as cockfighting operations go, how big is this compared to others you've seen?
Well, this is pretty elaborate. It's got several small arenas. It's got a spectator seating arrangement. They've got benches and bleachers. There's a concession stand. There's a weighing room for the roosters. And there's also a section where you have your brackets. So it's a pretty elaborate operation. It's probably not one of the biggest we have seen, but it ranks up there as being fairly elaborate.
What sort of concessions do they sell at one of these things?
Well, they sell the concessions. They sell beer, soft drinks, and snacks, cigarettes.
All the victims are male?
Yes, all our victims are males. That's right.
And you don't know why they would have opened fire on this particular?
That's a good question. That's a good question. We're not going to be able to determine motive until we have a lot more information. But when you approach an illegal operation like this, and you shoot indiscriminately into the group with no specific target, and you make no attempt whatsoever to rob the spectators or the victims of their money and jewelry or vehicles or cell phones or anything, then it would lead you to believe, at least from a preliminary investigative perspective, that it was an intended ambush to either dismantle this particular operation or maybe disrupt it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that maybe it looks more like a rival group hitting it, maybe because they owe him money. We don't know. I mean, that's all speculation, but it's more of an educated speculation because of the way it was done.
Does this organization or this cockfighting arena or the arenas have any ties to any organized crime groups that you know of?
When you say organized crime, if you're talking about specific gang membership, Mexican cartels, and so, no, I don't believe so. I mean, every group that we have seen here are independently operated, and to them it's a sport. To the state of Texas, it is a crime. So.
And anything on the homeowner? Was he one of the victims, or?
We have the homeowners, male and female, husband and wife. We have them at the office, and we are interviewing them at this time.
They're being questioned.
Right. They're being questioned. Yeah.
What about ages? Do we kind of range?
I can barely hear you.
The
Ages of the
range?
victims.
I have no ages. All I can tell you is there were males and we're all adults.
That was good.
Anything else?